podcast. This is episode 87, and we are starting this very, very lately in the month, already in the next month, but it's never too late. And as always, I have here with me faithful artists, Sausage. Hello, artists. How are you doing?
Oh, great. I know you're missing podcast because even before we started recording, you already started speaking to me like we are in the podcast.
Already, I was in the mood, and but this time we are going to start talking about a few interesting topics. Not many, because probably because we were talking still about what happened in August. In August, many people go to vacation. But let's start with the usual topics. Let me share the screen here. Now, first we are going to comment briefly about the topics that we're going to talk in this month podcast. First, as usual, we comment about the latest PHP versions, latest releases. The PHP 7.2.0 release candidate is already out, but it still have a few release candidates to go. Next, we talk about a proposal, a discussion about what happens when you use double values as indexes of arrays. Next, we talk about a proposal to have a sort of a default value for list assignment. When we have an array that you want to assign to different variables, you can specify some defaults when the array positions do not have elements. Next, we are going to talk about the easy method of overriding built-in PHP functions. This will be a proposal if still to pass, of course. Next, we are going to talk about this article that talks about the history of unserialized that is used on PHP. The next, talk about the old elephant date. It's not specific to PHP, but since the elephant is the mascot of PHP, this just would be nice to remember. Next, we are going to talk about a couple of articles. One about how to create a PHP captcha solver. Using a class that is named PHP OCR. It will recognize characters in an image, and it will hopefully correctly identify them. Not very fancy. It's not even a complete captcha solution, but captcha solver solution, but it will do something interesting. Next, we have another article. This time is about implementing a fix for the year 2038 problem that, in case you don't know, it will affect computers that still rely on 32-bit numbers for referencing be related to the reference date, which is the epoch in 1970, January 1st. Well, first we have PHP 7.023. I don't think there are many worth noticing bugs. Just a regular session of the bugs that were fixed. And regarding PHP 7.18, it's more or less the same. What we already had is PHP 7.2 release candidate, which means that we are getting closer and closer to a launch of this PHP 7.2. I don't know, Carlos, if you have anything to comment about these releases.
Do not use it in production.
Yeah, like everything. Do not buy the first version because it will have the most bugs. But anyway, continuing here, we are going to talk about a discussion that actually did not went very far, but I think it's probably relevant for people that are dealing with large numbers. Often arrays are used as indexes. that will use either integers or strings to determine the position of an element. If you have a regular array, you probably use numbering for the index of the positions that you want to store elements. But if you use an integer that is too large, it will exceed the capacity of the CPU or whatever, and will exceed the number of the decimal digits, and it will use it will convert the index to a string, I suppose. That's what I got from this topic, and that's why there was this discussion about the possible improvement for using doubles as array
Yes,
key elements.
almost. So basically, yeah. Just an example. He provides two values. I don't know if you can see my screen. So yeah. So for example, we have index this one and this long one. So obviously, in variable, it's stored as a double to have such large number. But if we
Yeah.
use it as index, which are in the indexes and keys are only long int, that they are converted to long int, which results again in the same value is here. So you're overriding already existing value because
Oh,
this one overflows.
oh, I see.
And,
So there is a
and,
problem in storing that.
yeah, and basically the Andrew Nestor provided a pull request that would check if key is double and is less than maximum possible long integer, then it just would be normally converted to long integer as it is. And if it's larger, then it would be converted to string. So it would do it seamlessly for you.
Yeah. So I'm not sure yet what was the real problem. Probably it's not a problem.
Don't use large numbers as indexes. And
Yeah,
you're
so just should take care if you are using maybe random numbers or such. They will exceed the, I think it's 68 bit.
yeah,
Okay.
just then they need to use string as is, and that's it.
Okay, moving on, we are going to talk about a more specific proposal that is probably simpler to understand because it will basically suggest to use default values when you're extracting elements from an array using the list command. So far, if the list command pulls more variables than the number of elements in the array, it probably fill the missing elements with null or something. I think. I never tried.
Yeah.
So the proposal is to have some default values for unfulfilled elements. I'm not sure if this is, yeah, but it seems to solve a specific use case problem.
No, it seems actually normal because the syntax itself also is quite understandable. You provide the default values, but also if you would be checking if the value exists in array, then it kind of kills the purpose of having a list in the first place. So having default values right in is, I think, is nice. It's something I would not vote against. I would vote for.
Yeah,
Uh,
this I think this is harmless because it's backwards incompatible, compatible. So
compatible, yeah.
you don't have to be concerned. Okay, next topic we're going to talk about another discussion that is actually something that many people have been asking for and you cannot do in PHP, but you can do probably in other languages like JavaScript, right? Which is
Yes.
to be able to override the
Built-in system functions.
yeah. Well, the idea, I think you can see here. The idea is to have some syntax like this. And
It's
this
just a proposition, yes, from him.
yeah. Well, I don't know because if you allow these things in PHP, probably it's open a can of worms in terms of security, like overriding built-in functionality.
So the purpose for the author is to write unit tests, is to have easier way to mock uh, things in unit tests. But as in this thread, others developers point out that it's actually killing the purpose of a unit test to mingle with outside world with system functions. So you would need to scope them correctly, not have them. Uh, Another use case where I could imagine is, for example, when a hosting provider wants to disable some functions, they could create empty steps or replace them with functions that throw errors or something like that. But I think
Yeah.
it it may be possible already through ini file to disable some just features, and that's it.
Well, I don't know. At least, well, and in JavaScript world, you can also override every object,
Yeah.
every let's say,
Yes.
probably variable of you have in your code, but I'm not sure if it will be a different purposes or could be the same thing, and we have this feature built in PHP.
We
I don't know.
actually had a talk with his friends about similar issue just today about overriding operators. So they in C# usually override operators, or you can compare classes, different classes with two equal signs and stuff like that. And I
Yeah,
don't think that's possible in JavaScript. So JavaScript you can override almost everything, but not operators.
yeah. Well, for PHP, despite the bad name, people, it's a reputed language that is used by many people. And okay, moving on to the next topic, it's about understanding the unserialized function. There is why okay. I don't know. Did you read this whole story?
Yes, most of it. So this is Chris. Unfortunately, I don't see right now the surname, but basically he and other guy Boris Erdman were creating the code for Serialize and Serialize around 20 years ago for
Yeah,
PHP 3, and they had many problems to uh, solve to like able to generate to serialize classes to some representation of string and then deserialize them back in PHP code. So the solution was to just when serializing a class, just generate PHP code and on unserialization, just use eval function to run this code. So it would create instances of all the classes. And he discusses all the implications and how they thought of this idea and stuff like that. And then later on, um, there were messages from Nikita Popov, one of the internal developers, don't use
yeah,
unserialized untrusted input uh, and stuff like that. So he explains why is that and how current new, released serialized and serialized work and
yeah.
that for many other things that user want, they should not use serialized, but rather some other uh, transformat like XML or JSON data to store the data.
Yes. Well, nowadays everybody uses JSON. Uh,
Mostly, yeah.
it's also a thing from JavaScript world on which you can override every function, at least from the point of view of those that really want to change the language. I don't want to change the language, but I can see some use cases. Maybe I think I mentioned mockups. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, this is
Well,
for serialize and serialize.
okay. So this function is whole. Nowadays in new PHP application, I still use JSON because, for instance, if I want to serialize data to a database,
Yep.
it will be language independent because JSON is everywhere. If you use serialize, probably not. Uh, and okay, so this is just an interesting article that was published recently. So now we're going to move on to the next topic. That's not really a PHP topic, but somebody posted this in PHP internals. It was about the the elephant day, old elephant day, and you can, if you like elephants for some reason, if you're a PHP developer and like elephants,
Yeah, you must like elephant if you're a PHP developer.
yeah, or else. No, everybody loves these elephants. I don't know why. Even very grown-up people like these elephants.
No, you
And
can tell it by how the prices are usually chosen almost always first, the plush elephant in the.
yes, exactly. And it's not that women also like elephants. I don't know why. Even when they are not programmers. And if
They are
you,
cute.
yeah, exactly. If you are a programmer and you are lonely, you don't have a girlfriend, grab some elephants, and, and you grab the hearts of some princess. Okay, now we are going to move on to comment on some articles, not many, just a couple. Arthur, would you like to comment?
Yeah. So let me comment on the first one, just increase the font a bit. So there is a tutorial published about how to create PHP captcha solver with PHP OCR class. So we all know or that what is captcha, and if you don't know, then it's a way to test if you're really a human
Yeah.
or a bot accessing the web page. Usually how it's done is that it's presented an image with a text. Sometimes it's obfuscated text, and then you need to enter this text in the form. So the idea is that for bots it will be hard to recognize these characters in the image, and OCR is just that optical character recognition. So it tries to recognize the characters in the image, and so basically this class is anti-captcha or captcha solver. And
Yeah, more or
how
less.
I
Yeah,
did not test
it
how it
tries.
works. Yeah,
Yes,
it tries. So
it tries.
it
It's very primitive, but because OCR is not just recognizing letters in the text, it's also scanning where are the letters in the image.
yeah.
But at least this could be a good start. And
Yeah, so this article was published by Vivek Moyal, and you can also see the examples. So the first we create the instance, and we need to learn different characters and taste. We can save result, and then we can provide images and see the results that we have. So if it's not false, we get some character name. If not, not recognized. And that way we can try to guess all the characters image and enter them in input and beat the captcha systems with our bots.
yes, in theory. Well, anyway, the article ends up with some explanation. This is not a complete capture solver solution because we also need other parts, but it could be a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is great. Well, on my behalf, I also like to comment on an article that is about something that may eventually happen in the year 2038, which is when we run out of seconds.
Yes.
I mean,
Time
positive
will
seconds.
end. Yes, there will be negativity.
Yeah, the in 2038, the number of seconds that elapsed since the Unix epoch, which is by the 2000, 1970, it will already past like 31 bits of seconds, and the 30-second bit is the sign, so it will switch, and the seconds will be negative. So, since many PHP functions rely on Unix epoch time system, this will be certainly a problem. So this article by Zinzul Moaz talks about this problem, and they also refers some classes that he developed that can solve this problem in a more or less interesting way, like doing the necessary conversions. But we don't know if this will be useful until we get there. So
Yeah, so it would be like in 20 years.
yeah, I was
I,
yeah.
I will be 50. I will make some student or trainee do the transition. If I'm
I
still
don't,
managing projects or something.
I have a prediction is that by then bots will be programming for you,
Yeah,
not people.
could be true, yes. They can deal
Yeah.
with it.
And you'll probably be struggling to find some space in the planet because nobody will die. The cure for many types, or at least several types of cancer and heights have been now found with replacing your genes, the genes of your cells. This is current news. It's not even future
This
news.
is this is only in 20 years, right?
No, this is already available now. Not for all types of cancer, but there is already a cure for some. Like if you have
Yeah, sure.
$800,000, you can buy yourself the cure for cancer, at least some kind of cancer, and AIDS them or will also be sort of fixed because it's gene related. I don't know. Will we have a die? I don't know. Let's enjoy the present while we have space in the planet and didn't have to
Reserve your space, right? Now.
exactly. We have to find some space in the Amazon jungle. That will be funny. Now we are going to start talking about the innovative packages of the month. In the case of June 2017, and we would be eventually going to be talking about the nominees of June and JS classes site, but fortunately there are a couple of classes being published there, but they were not considered innovative, so they are not innovative. So we had to skip and not comment on nominees, but you can still review the ranking of authors and Innovation Award winners by country. First, Emil Kilage is still ahead in the first place with 3 packages and 11 points. Martin Barker.
Can you share the screen?
Oh, right. You're, I thought I was already sharing.
No, you were sharing your face,
Yeah, it's
which
not
is
the
also
same.
nice.
That's kind of you. Yeah. So I was always saying Emil Kilage in first with 3 packages and
One
11
more,
points.
yeah, zoom in. Exactly. Thanks.
Yeah, I zoomed it already. Okay, it should be big enough by now. Then Martin Barker from England and is with 2 packages and 9 points. Martin Latter with a package of 5 points from England, and the stuff from Hungary with 1 package and 3 points. He started with Arthur Sozins and Don Hastings from Latvia and England, respectively. Jeremy Judah from China is also tied with 1 package and 3 points. Then Tilby from Germany with 1 package and 2 points. Is tied David Normington with also 1 package and 2 points, as well Tom LeBron. By countries, we have the United Kingdom is ahead in first place uh, with 1 package, no, sorry, with 6 packages and 19 points, followed by Sweden with 3 packages and 11 points. Then Latvia is tied with China and Hungary with 1 package and 3 points. Then Germany, Spain, and France and Brazil are tied with 1 package with 2 points. Finally, United States is in 10th with 1 package and 2 points. Now, for the Innovation Award uh, winners of June in PHP, we have 30 nominees. Arthur, which ones would you like to talk about?
All the best ones.
Oh, Arthur.
No, I'm kidding. They are all good. Let me just select those. So, do you see my screen? I think yes, you do. Right? Yes. So the first one I wanted to comment is PHP anti-captcha. So we just covered something similar in articles on how to solve the captcha, but in this case, it's using a web service to send the image and try to decode it, find the text in it, and respond to it. So this way you can try to decode captchas and also create a bot that would solve them. It was developed by Roman Kozin from Ukraine, and he got one big LPHP and plush mascot. So yeah, the first winner gets the first plush toy. That's normal.
Yeah.
The next package is untor, block users to access from a network using Tor. So yes, there are Tor networks that would hide your identity, your IP addresses, and encrypt the connection, so it would not be able to recognize you at all. And in some cases, you might want to block them, like to prevent them from trying to do something malicious on your server. And in this case, this package would help to do it by checking the IP address against Tor networks and caching them, so you would not to make not to have to make requests all over again. And it was developed by Romeo Gamelas from Portugal, and he got one downloadable copy of PHP Professional for this package. Next, a really interesting package is an PHP expert system engine. So basically you have a script which this class can parse with questions, and then this class asks the questions to the end user and provides them an options to respond, and based on these options it can again progress further and follow some steps. So it's very useful for some kind of tutorials or troubleshooting guides when you have specific questions, and based on them you need to do the next steps and ask something else and stuff like that, so making decision trees. And this class was developed by Bob Bedwick from United States. Yeah, he didn't pick a price, I think.
Yeah, some others are happy by participating on the Dragon Prize, which is also fine. So it's all fine.
Next package is PHP show HTML source code. Hey, do you see your screen zoomed in or my screen? Can you maybe switch to my screen?
I can see your screen when you're
Oh,
talking.
okay, so good. I'm just checking. So PHP show HTML source code. So in some cases, you want to show the source code of your current web page in your page. So yeah, of course, everyone can take a view source and view it, but sometimes, like for showing examples of integrating packages, you can show example, for example, of your direct source code, and that it would be cool. And you can style it and do whatever you want. And this package would help you do that. I think there are screenshots too. Yes. So you can loading.
It doesn't appear. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can do that with your with this package, and I don't know. There is a demo. I usually have problems here. Let me try the separate window. Okay, replaces the context menu, view source. Yeah, so it doesn't use the default browser view source, but it's overwriting creates its own, so you can style it the way you want. It's pretty neat. And yeah, it was developed by Devin Gao from United States, and he got one downloadable copy of Komodo ID for this package. Next package is PHP 7 debug. So this is PHP class that allow you to debug some exceptions and Basically, it's based on PHP 7 debugging features. Yeah, handle runtime errors and exceptions. You need to load it before loading everything else. Here's an example, and try to debug with the PHP code instead of having a debugger. And this class was developed by Chris Ugwu from Nigeria, and yeah, he didn't pick a price. Next package is character set from string. So in UTF strings, there could be many different character sets, and this package tries to analyze each character and find the most predominant character set, and then propose it as a main character set. So it could detect Latin, Greek, Cyrillic, Armenian, etc. And it was developed by Peter Kao from Hong Kong, and yeah, no price to here. And the last one I wanted to comment is Chinese master. So in Chinese language, they have two text sets, simplified and traditional Chinese encodings, and this class can detect whether it's simplified or traditional and can try to convert from one to another. And it was developed by Peter Kao from Hong Kong again, yeah. I think that's it on my part.
Okay, on my part, I also like to comment a few, if I can share the screen.
I hope you can. Previously, you couldn't.
Yes, I can. Yes, we can. Now with Inception.
Yeah. Good.
So, on my behalf, I also like to comment a few packages. There's a PHP matrix arithmetic library. Uh, this is not something unusual, but it was innovative among the packages that are in the site that can perform complexity are often used matrices as basis to model the data and store them and then manipulate them. Well, this class performs basic matrix operation, and for that, amazingly, there was no package before that could do that, at least in PHP classes. In the next package that I'd like to comment is leaflet. Oh, sorry, I forgot to mention that the author is Jinsu Mars. I don't know what is the meaning of these words, but I hope I'm pronouncing them right. The next that I wanted to comment is one package from Acib Ahmad, Brazil, that developed. Okay, this is the one. But basically, this is sort of a wrapper around the leaflet JavaScript library that can be used to render maps, and these maps can be implemented in many sites. You can learn how to use them, integrate them with the data from databases, and create a sort of an alternative to Google Maps. So kudos to ASCII Brazil for this package. The next package that I'm going to comment is called Letter Composer Multilingual from Peter Kao. It has been developing lots of packages for dealing with languages and differences. And this time it developed a package that allows you to find out to salute somebody in different languages. Well, at least it makes sense. I'm not sure if it makes sense in all the languages. But this package can guess the salutation to use in the messages and have adjust the text that could be, for instance, for a letter. That's why it's called Letter Composer Multilingual. The next package I would like to comment this is not trivial because I had to figure what is the word declension means, and it seems to be a process of changing the inflection of names, the gender, case of the words, and this could be used to to get the plural from the singular, the feminine from the masculine, and so on.
Oh.
For these words. And this is neat because sometimes you need to do that. You have messages in one for instance for women, but then you want to send them to men, and the exact wording would not be the same. I'm not sure if this works right, but it seems to be a pretty cool class. The next comment, the next package I want to comment is also an interesting package also for dealing with text. Words in different languages. In this case, it can detect the gender of the at least a set of names on different languages. And this is also useful from Peter Carl. And finally, we have another package that this one does not do something trivial, but it can be useful. It's a base class for using implementing the JWT JSON Web Token specification, and in this case, what you'll be able to do is to call the API using this JSON Web Token. I mean, APIs that support them, and now many sites support these tokens. So it could be interesting for those that want to learn this fast. Next, we are going just to review the rankings of the PHP Innovation Award by winners, individual winners. And first we have to, I'm not sharing the screen. I stopped sharing.
You unshared it again.
Then I'll play with that. Sometimes I do things not on purpose. Well, as I was going to say, Peter Call is first. Sorry, Dave Smith.
No, Peter Gall. You're correct the first time.
I was zoomed it and scrolled it away. Peter Call is the first with 15 packages and it's 105 points. It's far ahead because he sends many packages. Christian Vig is second with 5 packages and 72 points. Naheem bin Azar from Bangladesh with 3 packages and 50 points. Sergey Banoshin with 5 packages and 49 points is followed in fourth place. And Lars Malekon from Germany with 4 packages and 35 points. Following Dave Smith with the packages and 31 points. Then again, then Asib Ahmad Bazil from Pakistan with the package and 29 points. Then Vish Sadev from India is in a base point in position. Finally, Jealous Sebrecht. How do I pronounce this name?
Probably Jelle Sebrecht. Yeah.
From Belgium is in 9th position. And finally, Scott Arsiewski, who in 10th position with 2 packages and 24 points. By country, it's more or less related, but not quite. First, United States is ahead with 10 packages and 111 points, followed by France with 10 packages and 109 points. Then Hong Kong with 15 packages and 105 points. Then Pakistan is in 4th with 8 packages and 75 points.
India.
Yeah. India. Then Pakistan is in 5th with 5 packages, 55 points. That's the correct position. Then we have Italy and Germany tied with 54 points. But then comes Bangladesh and Russia. Bangladesh with 3 packages and 50 points. Russia with 5 packages and 49 points. And then Ukraine with 3 packages and 30 points.
Yep.
Well, we were here supposedly to talk about PHP, but there are some other side topics that can be funny.
Always.
And with this, we conclude this edition of Lately PHP podcast. And on my behalf, that is all for now. Bye.
Bye.